What's up YouTube, this is King Juggalo 11V and I'm coming at you now with my Bandit character deck profile. I just thought it had been a while since I actually uploaded a deck profile, so I thought this would be a pretty interesting one. If you want to see it in action, there is some dueling network duels between me and my friend TheGuardianCircle, already on my channel and on his channel as well. And it is an obscenely fun deck. Like, I cannot stress how much fun it is, especially in the modern game. There is just, like, you know, where in like the meta game where everything is like one trick pony decks, the fact that you have stuff like this and you just get some of the most ridiculous responses and stuff to get over things, it is, I cannot sell how good character dueling is, and I cannot sell how much fun this deck is to play if you're going to play sort of character deck scenario. So we'll start off with what we refer to as the spare deck. The first, of course, being Gatling Dragon. This is, of course, an actual Bandit Keith card, because, you see, for a lot of characters like Bandit Keith, you know, they didn't appear much in the anime, so you don't really have much to work with, so you just have to sort of go with what you can infer. So a lot of the stuff in the deck he didn't actually use, but you know for a fact he would have used it. So yeah, anyway, Gatling Dragon, you know, I haven't actually got this out in a duel, I don't think, and I've used this deck many times. However, it is an awesome card to just have around, and this was super cheap. Yeah, you have to get him in Ultra though. Yeah, like, if you're playing this deck, you get him in Ultra. That's one of the many rarity requirements that this deck carries. The second is Labyrinth Tank, which again he didn't technically use, I don't think, but you know for a fact a machine card like this in original series, you know for a fact he had one lying around somewhere. And finally, the final card is Zera the Mant, which I know of course is a ritual card and you'd normally keep it in the deck, but for the sake of this, we decided to put ritual cards in the spare deck, which is why we call it the spare deck rather than the extra deck. So next up we have the actual deck. We'll go tribute monsters first. So the first card is Fiendish Engine Omega. You have to get this in secret. It is a great card because, you know, you can just ditch this from your hand and then Monster Reborn it, and then you've got a 2/8 beater on the field. And in addition to that, the tokens he spawns are obscenely helpful to get your other tribute monsters out. So next we have Barrel Dragon, for obvious reasons. He is probably the coolest card in the main deck, at least. And yeah, you have to get this guy in secret too. Like, I can't stress how important it is that the cards look nice in deck like this. But yeah, Barrel Dragon, he is just an awesome card. Blowback Dragon as well, again, has to be in secret. And arguably this guy's better than this, because he can destroy any card and he only destroys monsters, but regardless, they're both pretty cool. And of course they merge well together if you can get Gatling Dragon out. Next we have Machine King. I didn't originally run this, but he has he's grown on me, certainly. I don't think it matters what rarity you get this in, as long as you're happy with it. But generally he's just a cool ass card. He's just a guy that you like having around, you know. The next card is Time Eater, which again I don't think he technically used, although I think he might have had it in his hand during one episode. In fact, I think he did. But if you can get into this before your opponent goes into a tribute monster, and then just go through his defenses, you make him skip every main phase 1, like following a turn in which he can destroy a monster. So he is obscenely helpful sometimes. And finally, the vanilla 2 tribute monsters. Just one, Sayari. You have to get this guy in Prismatic, and honestly, the reason that I'm playing this card in this deck is because he did. And the fact is, if you are willing to play a Bandit Keith character deck and don't run this card, I don't want to be friends with you. So go play with someone else. And finally, our vanilla 1 tribute monster is Cybertech Alligator. I don't think he needs explaining. If you don't know what Cybertech Alligator is good for by now, you should probably go and kill yourself very soon. So vanilla monsters, Mechanical Chaser is just a great beater. Guardian of the Throne Room, I just love this guy. I just love his artwork. He's so cool. Ground Attacker Bugroth, you know, he's a machine. What can I say? Robotic Knight, he's a great little defender, but he you know, he's never there when you actually need him. He's never there when you need to defend with him. Most likely to defend, you'll use one of these guys, which is 3 blocker. He looks like an assortment of carrots. He looks like he's not going to do much, but that 1-8 defense can be surprisingly hard to get over. And overall, I can't under or oversell how much fun blocker is in this deck. But yeah, he's an awesome guy. Gigatech Wolf, he's not a great guy, but of course you need it for the Labyrinth tank, and hence Cannon Soldier is here as well. And here's a great card to have around. Next we have Roulette Barrel. It's basically a blowback dragon and barrel dragon for no tributes. So, you know, he's a good card, but his effect is a bit conditional. Next we have Blastosphere. This guy is great for getting over things. You know, if he's attacked into it, he just blows the card up and burns your opponent like hell on their next turn, so he's pretty cool. And finally we've got Cyber and Fiberjar. If you don't think Bandit Keith had these cards somewhere in his deck, even though they're not strictly machines, if you don't think he had these somewhere, then I don't know what anime you've been watching. These are the dickiest cards in the game, and they are vaguely machine related, even if they aren't technically. So you know for a fact Bandit Keith had these lying around somewhere. And these two guys just make the character deck game so much fun. So we're moving into the spell cards. 3 copies of 7. There has been one occasion where I've actually got this effect off, but when you do get it off, you gain 2100 life points and draw 3 cards, so it is pretty fantastic when you get them off. Most likely you'll draw 2 copies of it and then find the last one at the bottom of your deck. That's always the way. But it you know, it's slot machine-y, so you kind of have to. Which is ironic because I only run 2 copies of 7 completed. I did try to fit 3 in, but I didn't want to run the extra card and I didn't want to take anything out, so yeah, only 2 copies. Then of course there's the Zera Ritual for Zera, Pot of Greed because it's, you know, legal in this. We have Hand Destruction in Ryu Senshi, Delinquent Duo, and the Secret of the Bandit, which is here for obvious reasons. In fact, he actually used a card quite similar to this in the anime against Joey, but that card itself was never printed. But yeah, these are basically here for Hand Destruction. Yeah, I was running Confiscation as well, but I took that out, I think, to put Zera Ritual back in. But yeah, anyway. Monster Reborn, Premature Burial, and then we hit Super Rare City. So, Graceful Charity, Limit Removal, Polymerization, Dark Hole, and Heavy Storm. Yeah. And finally, we go to the trap section. Magic Jammer, 7 Tools of the Bandits here for obvious reasons. Colton Haunted, he actually did give that to Bones, so you know, you have to give him some credit for that. Time Machine, I can't like over or undersell how important this card is in the deck sometimes. Like, if you can get this out when your opponent has like a 1-turn response to like Cyaryu or Fiendish Engine or something, and then you just get it back, then your opponent will flip the table. Trap Hole is just so good in this format. And finally, Widespread Ruin, which is just a ultimately brutal card in this kind of gameplay. So that was the deck. If you've got any suggestions for stuff you think he would logically have used, please just shot them in the comment section below. If you want to see the deck in action, like I said, there's videos on my channel. And if you want to subscribe, we'll have more duel videos, pack openings, and deck profiles coming your way soon enough. I got the Guardian Circle for the opening videos we've already done. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck. And yeah, I think that's more or less it. So I'll see you guys around.